In this video we are going to talk about 10 best video game movies. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. We've got Ryan Reynolds as an adorable yellow puppy, Sean Bean as a sad dad in a nightmare town, and even the AT&T commercial woman as a werewolf. Filmmakers are waking up to the fact that video game stories and worlds may be compelling enough to entice even the most game-averse filmgoers. We'll keep updating this list as new video game movies like Uncharted come out and strive for a spot in our top rankings. Our video game movie rules are strict but fair. They must be based on a specific game, not just be situated in a fictitious gaming universe like Free Guy or Ready Player One. Number 10. Ratchet Clank. Despite the fact that it was only released in 2016, it appears as though Ratchet & Clank's first film has been forgotten by time. Yes, it was a box office flop, and yes, it has some strange casting choices. Sliced alone in a Ratchet & Clank film is a sentence I never imagined I'd have to type, but once the retooled origin tale is allowed to stand on its own 2 feet, it's actually not that terrible. It may lack the fun and humor of PlayStation platformers, and the animation isn't quite up to Pixar's standards, but it'll keep you entertained for 90 minutes. Ratchet & Clank is a lively, family-friendly film that succeeds in bringing the strange pairing of a Lombax and a robot to the big screen and making it fun. Think about it. Number 9. Silent Hill. Sure, it's clumsy in places, but it definitely gives you the chills. Silent Hill was a wonderful choice to cut through the thicket of subpar video game movies that seemed to come out every few months in the mid-2000s. In retrospect, Silent Hill may not stand up to its horror counterparts, but it's more than excellent enough for a video game effort, with a great cast, including a rare sight, Sean Bean surviving, and more than its fair share of horrors. Bonus points for including Pyramid Head, which is equally as horrifying, if not more so, than its video game equivalent, and will have you hiding under the couch long after the credits have rolled. Number 8. Werewolves Within. It has no right to be as interesting as Werewolves Within is. It takes the fundamental premise, a small group where anyone could be the monster in disguise, and builds a witty and amusing horror film around it, based closely on Ubisoft's 2016 VR game. When Forest Ranger Finn arrives in Beaverfield, a storm has hit, power generators have been damaged, and a body or two have been discovered. Only one of a few residents could be to blame, and the group begins to feel paranoid and suspicious. Josh Rubin, who wrote and directed Shudder's equally brilliant Scare Me, is the director, and he's a wonderful fit. Finn is played by Sam Richardson, Veep, the Tomorrow War, who is both humorous and likable, while fans of What We Do in the Shadows will be pleased to see Harvey Guillen flourishing as one half of a tech-rich marriage. Number 7. Mortal Kombat 2021. For the battle scenes alone, the 2021 adaptation of Mortal Kombat earns a spot on the list, with so much gore splattered that artificial blood supplies must have dropped during filming. Cole Young, Louis Tan, the protagonist, is a newcomer to the Mortal Kombat universe, but his fate to compete in Mortal Kombat means we get to watch fan favorites like Sub-Zero and Sonya Blade in action. Sure, the conversation is a little clumsy, but these individuals are frequently struck in the head, so it's understandable that they aren't reciting Shakespeare. This is the film for you, whether you're a fan of the Combat series or simply want to detach your head and relax in front of some horrific deaths. Number 6. Warcraft. Hollywood was ripe to pick up World of Warcraft. Despite being dubbed Lord of the Rings Light, Blizzard's crown jewel is jam-packed with backstory and directed by indie star Duncan Jones. Not only is it the best-performing video game adaptation ever, as of writing, but it gives the World of Warcraft a pedestal, and it is beautiful. Despite its flaws, the picture is nevertheless an anomaly in the world of video game movies, a film that isn't afraid to take a risk, give a respected filmmaker a huge budget, and let him loose on the globe. Number 5. Sonic the Hedgehog. The early indicators for the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog film were not promising. Initial ideas for the Blue Blur elicited such negative feedback from fans that the filmmakers went back to the digital drawing board. When the film was ultimately released this year, Ben Schwartz's exuberant voiceover work and Jim Carrey's hamming it up as Dr. Robotnik won over audiences. Sonic and a Montana sheriff struggle to avoid Robotnik and find Sonic's legendary rings in this film. Sequels are already in the works. Number 4. Resident Evil. There are so many Resident Evil movies, 6, according to our count, that it's difficult to pick just one to include on this list. A slow burn tour of a mansion in 2002 would not have been as energetic and fun as this first try, which still works well today. Mila Jovovich is fantastic in her role as Alice. She doesn't get nearly enough credit, and the set pieces are plentiful. It's also noteworthy since it appears to be setting up sequels and expansive realms long before Iron Man learned of the Avengers Initiative. It's well worth a second viewing. Number 3. Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed seemed like the first time video game movies were thrust into the spotlight. Others were derided as curiosities or only for a specific demographic, but Assassin's Creed aimed to put all of that to rest with a fascinating take on the Creed's endless war with the Templar Order. Assassin's Creed is a film with a lot of stars, including Michael Fassbender, Marion Cotillard, and Michael K. Williams. It lends the film credibility, and it's accompanied by an impressive-looking animus adventure set in 15th century Spain, and a parkour-heavy style that pays respect to the series without going overboard with fan service, as other films do. Some fans and moviegoers may have been disappointed, but give it another chance. It flies far higher than you may expect. Number 2. Tomb Raider, 2018. Lara returns to the big screen in Tomb Raider, following in the footsteps, an ice pick, of the 2013 rebooted game. This time, Lara is more vulnerable and the movie isn't as good as the game, but it's still a nice tribute to one of the best games of the generation. While the film parodies the games rather than literally adapting them, Alicia Vikander portrays a vibrant Lara who, curiously, seems more at home in London than raiding the tombs of a forgotten kingdom. Tomb Raider is unquestionably a watershed moment for video game movies. No longer content to exist in the shadows, this is a daring entry brimming with star power that could pave the way for even more video game treasures in the future, particularly in the upcoming Ben Wheatley-directed sequel. Number 1. Detective Pikachu. It's finally here, the best video game film. We knew Detective Pikachu would do credit to the Pokémon brand the moment we learned Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool himself, would be voicing the fluffy little yellow fella. Tim Goodman, a 21-year-old private detective who merely wants to find his missing father Henry, teams up with Pikachu in the process. There'll be plenty of CGI, heartwarming family scenes and, most crucially, enough jokes to make a Snorlax laugh. Director Rob Letterman of Goosebumps is in charge of a diverse cast that includes pop singer Rita Ora, Bill Nighy, Ken Watanabe, and DJ Diplo, but it's the love and care shown to the Pokémon universe as a whole that jumps out the most. What do you think about our video? Please let us know in the comments area below. If you enjoyed this video and would want to hear from me again, please subscribe and turn on the notification before leaving. Thank you for watching us.
What's good, and thanks for watching this video on Top Movies. Once you subscribe to the page, type subscribed in the comments and we'll do our best to respond to all of you. See you on the next video.